today we're going to meet 12 villagers in our 2 garden centers. And the one theme that runs through what a lot of these people said was this is a great way to thrive. So I really hope you enjoy meeting all 12 of them today.
Good morning. I'm Sue Margolis, a co-president of the Garden Center Club, and I'd like to welcome you to Garden Center 1. We're going to take a short walk through and talk to some of the gardeners. This is Omer Dreyer, and he's one of our old-time gardeners.
Old time is the operative word here. I'm 85, still going pretty strong. Been living in Leisure World for about 16 years, and gardening is my hobby. I did that back east. I did that when we lived in New Hampshire and when we lived on Long Island. And the main thing is to plant your crops such that you get the timing correct. And so far it's good, except for the rats who show up whenever there's ripe tomatoes. So here we are, and I've had the rats here, and hopefully they're going to put out bait traps around here to get the rats. But we just have to live with them until that time comes. So I think anybody should get into gardening because it's one of the most relaxing things to get out and play in the dirt and get connected again to Mother Earth.
Let's take a tour of your garden plot.
Okay. These are obviously carrots. And over here is Swiss chard. And there are tomato plants that are about shot. That over there is zucchini squash. And the big things over here are butternut squash, and they're just great in the wintertime. My wife peels them, cuts them up into little pieces, throws them in chicken stock, and we have a nice soup on a cool day.
What do you get out of this, Omar?
Joy. It's really nice to come down here, as I say, connect with Mother Earth for a while, just sit back some days and just watch things grow.
How often do you come down?
During the summer, during these months, I'm down here just about every morning and trying to get the fruit before the rats get it. So there we are. But that's one of the hazards of being a gardener.
And what about all the different gardeners in this particular center?
Well, there's a whole bunch of folks here. Right across the way there's Korean folks, and there used to be a Taiwanese gardener over here. And over here are a group of young ladies. I say young reservedly, but we all got the same thing in mind, is to come down here and just relax and get together.
And how's this keeping you young and thriving?
Well, it gets me up in the morning, and that's the important thing. You have to have a reason to get out of bed in the morning at my age. So that's what I do with gardening.
Is this hard work?
It can be at times, yes. Right now I'm digging out some plants that have seen better days, and I have to use a shovel and pull on the plants to get them out. So yeah, there's a little work involved. My cardiologist said that gardening is like 80% of what people claim as exercise, and I can believe it because it's worthwhile.
George is here, Penny, and he's been here with his passion fruit for a long time. It used to be filled, this whole area. Now he's trimmed it down.
Yeah.
So how long have you had this garden plot?
Now it's about 2.5 years, yes.
And how has this changed your life that you've had this plot?
I love it. I really did gardening before, and I'm enjoying it now.
It looks beautiful. What kind of plants have you planted here?
Tomatoes, my kale, then eggplant, corn, and beans, green beans.
And how many days are you here, and how long do you spend each day?
Every day. I come in every day because I have to water this. The tomatoes need a lot of water.
What about the rats? Are you getting rats on your tomatoes?
They came once, but now I'm going to get a more light, which is going to keep them away. I ordered that, and then that will keep them away.
And what do you get out of this? Why is this important to you?
Well, because I enjoy gardening. That's really because I enjoy it, that's all.
Your face lights up. You really do, don't you?
I do, certainly.
So I've never gardened before. What's the best part?
Well, digging up, and then when the things grow up, that's the best time. When the tomatoes start ripening, that's the time I enjoy myself.
I bet you they taste fantastic, huh?
They taste fantastic, and I give it to my neighbors also.
Wow. How about the corn? Is the corn good?
Corn, not yet. This is the first time I put in corn.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
don't know
because I
how-
saw corn there, then I thought I'll try it, and it's working very well. It's coming up very nicely.
And what about in the wintertime? What do you do when there's not much going on?
I allow it to be fallow. Yeah, because there's nothing that I can do. Nothing will grow.
You get a little bored when you're not here working it?
No, I come and take the weeds off at least. So I do something. Somehow I come here to do something.
How is this keeping you feeling young and thriving?
I enjoy it. So, I mean, I'm glad to be out in the fresh air, and it's nice to do some work and keep myself occupied and do something I like.
Nice.
Josephine has got the award-winning flower garden, and she's had it for many years. It's gorgeous. All year round, she keeps these different flowers blooming, and we can come by and just look at it, and it's so beautiful.
All right, Josephine. So how long have you had this plot?
I lost count. I remember being here in 1989.
1989?
Yeah, I'm old.
No. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
How does this keep you looking so young and vibrant?
I don't look at my expiration date. We all have one. But the flowers and the friendship that people that you meet are very uplifting for your life. We walk around with more than harvest, fruit and vegetables, friendship that are so valuable.
Over the years, you must have made a lot of friends.
Yes, I have.
And what are you most proud of as far as your plot?
I cannot tell you what I'm most proud. I'm not proud of being messy around the garden. I don't have any structure of any kind.
Okay.
But before I know, the blooms everywhere. I'm not going to tell you what I'm most proud of because I will have to say, I don't know.
Like, which child do you like the best, huh? You like them all?
I like them all. Yes.
What's the hardest part about maintaining this?
Finding the critters, fighting the mosquitoes, fighting everything that goes against my flowers.
Oh. They're attacking them and you have to protect them.
Yeah, sometime they said you throw the baby with bath water.
Uh-huh.
I just spoil a basket, beautiful basket there. I put baking soda, and then we had 99 degrees that day. I turned around and it was brown instead of flowers. So you have to fight them.
How is this called?
Sunflower is La Moulin Rouge, the show.
Do you have any idea of the number of plants, individual plants and flowers that you have in?
I lost count. It's over 60. I know.
And how often are you here?
Every single day.
What, even in the hot of the summer
No,
when it's 100 degrees?
Every moment I have that I can be here, I'll come here. I just arm myself with an umbrella, with a big Mexican hat, and I start gardening.
How long do you spend here each day?
Sometimes 3 hours, sometimes 6 hours. But a lot of it is socializing.
Talking to your neighbors.
Yeah, talking to my neighbors.
Do you discuss gardening or is it just the...
Everything in general, facts of life, every example is, I found a gopher snake the other day, and not often that you find snakes in your garden. So to free the poor snake, it took me about 2 hours. And the time went by, I came home with a good adventure, and well, one more for the book.
My name is Larry Friedman, and I have a garden here. I've had it for 9 years, and I garden because I like to see things grow and I like to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. I like to pick them and eat them that night. That's it. I like to mind my own business. I pick up my own tab. I do my own thing, and I just don't want to bother with anybody else. I just do what I want to do.
So you just want to be left alone, basically.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah, I have a nice little garden here, and we grow things, and I have a partner. We each have 2 contiguous lots, so we got a total of 4, so we have a nice big plot here. We grow what we want, we manage it, we keep it clean, and that's all we want out of life.
This is Nahid Senegati. I hope I pronounced it correctly.
Yes.
She is a very, very hard worker, and she really has a lot of beautiful stuff, and she's very generous with her things.
So how long have you had this garden plot?
I think 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And how often do you come?
Mostly every day. Every day.
For how long?
It depends how much I have to do. Sometimes watering, and then sometimes start to cleaning and planning and many things.
What's the best part? What do you get out of this? Why do you love it so much?
Oh, this is the best thing for me. It's just right for me is the meditation. When I come here, I forgot everything. Just stay here. That's the best thing for me.
So are you happy every time you come when you start gardening?
Yeah, really happy. Yeah. My kids bugging me all the time. Why you working your hand, your knees? And I say, you don't know. This is the best thing for me.
And what have you planted in your plot?
Zucchini, squash, celery, herbs, tomato, everything.
This is my pride and joy, my plot, and I just love this plot, and I've had it for 15 years, and I'd like to keep it forever, as long as I live. This is my herb garden, and I have basil, and there are some greens here, mustard greens, and all kinds of Asian greens. There's the kale that I use to make kale chips. The tomato plants are behind that. And then there's this great big huge chayote plant that covers the wall. These are my butternut squash, and I make a peanut butter soup, African peanut butter soup. These are the sunflowers, and I painted the fence the color of the sunflowers because it's so bright and cheery. This is my child, and I love it dearly, and I spend a lot of time here nurturing it, talking to the flowers, and playing in the dirt. This is the water reservoir that is the view from the gardens. It's beautiful. The birds come in, the pelicans, the white egrets, the ducks. The coyotes drink out of it, and the young pups cry when the fire engines go by. We have lots of trees here. We have apples, papaya, avocados, and the fruit is delicious and organic.
I'm Carol McVeigh, and we've lived here for a little over 6 years. To us, gardening connects us to the natural world, and every time we open that garden gate, we are connected to our sense of wonder, and sometimes that's easy to lose as you get older because life gets in the way, but in the garden, your sense of wonder is just totally intact. My husband is very elderly. He cannot go up Mount Whitney up and back in the same day anymore, but he comes alive in the garden. And the joy of growing things, the joy of sharing it with our neighbors. I'm not very popular with zucchini, but come tomato season, we have lots of friends. It's just a place of beauty. It's a spiritual place. You cannot but be humbled by life itself in the garden. And when people come and our grandchildren come, the thing they take away from the visit with us is the garden, and they get that feeling of the beauty and the peace and the spirituality of it. Welcome to our garden. We love coming here oftentimes twice a day. There's always something new, something wonderful in the garden. We have tomatoes that are just bursting, and we're going to have a lot of tomatoes. We love our herb garden, our basil, our thyme, our oregano, and We have Swiss chard. We've never ever eaten Swiss chard before, and now we really enjoy it. We cook it in stir fries. My husband had never had stir fry before. There isn't anything that we can't use. We eat something from the garden every day. The bees love the lavender. We enjoy picking it. It smells so good when we take it home. New Zealand spinach. A neighbor had New Zealand spinach. Never had heard of it before. We eat that every single day, and it's much sturdier than the kind of spinach you buy in the store, and it's there every single day. It grows year round. And of course the zucchini. We've just planted carrots, and that's our little marking system, and we're really excited to see when they come up. We have beans, green beans growing, and that will be with us later on in the summer. And we really look forward to them. They absolutely taste nothing like what you buy in the supermarket. They're wonderful. So that is our wonderful garden. The hawks are nesting up in the eucalyptus trees, and almost every time we're here, oftentimes the male and the female, are circling together, and you can hear at different times of the year, you can hear the young calling for their parents to bring them some food. So we hope that they find plenty of food here in the garden.
I'm Marilyn Freeman, and I've lived in Laguna Woods for about 10 years, and one of the first things I did was put my name in for a garden, because I've been associated with gardens all my life. My first garden was my parents' victory garden during the Second World War, and I would wander among the plants and pick an occasional radish. And it was such a wonderful experience to grow up doing that. And then when I finished college, every chance I had a garden. And if I didn't have a garden, I had houseplants or whatever. But I've always liked to eat organic food. That's been always important to me. And frankly, gardening at this age is my only outdoor hobby. Just as other people have indicated, I can no longer hike and backpack like I used to, so gardening gives me that chance to be outdoors. And I don't golf and I don't ride a horse, so gardening is perfect for me. And the one thing that I love about this garden is whenever I have out-of-town guests, I always bring them to my garden because I'm so proud of it, and I show them and tell them what I'm doing there, and they're pretty happy to see it too. As you can see, I'm between seasons. I usually plant my spring crops, and then I'll be planting fall crops. The fall crops are mostly cold weather vegetables and root crops. I do have a nice bunch of sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, and I'm doing more in pots now because I'm older and it's getting harder to get on my knees and garden. So, and also I had a little animal that came in and crawled under the ground and ate some of my favorite plants. So the pots are helping me to avoid that. And I do have a squash plant here and a beautiful tomato plant, and that's about all we can eat. My husband and I just plant enough for what we need.
Hi, I'm Pat Hedrake, and I've lived in Laguna Woods 13 years now. I've had a garden for about 10 years. And to me, a day without getting my hands in the dirt is not a good day. I want to be in the garden every day, either my vegetable garden or I have a huge flower garden at home. I do enjoy sharing my vegetables with all my friends and neighbors, and everybody gets excited if I bring tomatoes to the library, because I work at the library. And they're going, "Oh, Pat's tomatoes are here." I should brand them. But the gardening is a physical and spiritual way of life. It really is. You just feel closer to your God when you're in the garden. You see how He's given us this miracle soil and sun and rain we had this past year to make things grow, and they're just fabulous. So because I had an injury, I haven't been able to plant much, but my tomatoes are prolific here. And I think I'm going to get a second crop of artichokes back there. And I do have cucumbers, but they're not doing anything. And I have some pepper plants around because I like hot peppers. And I just harvested a bunch of onions. I started some asparagus. And I have a red raspberry bush over there that's just starting to come up. But this is really nicely done. I have a place to sit down over in the corner. And I just love it in here. So I love to get my hands in the dirt. Oftentimes you'll find me without gloves on. I don't care about my nails. I just want to garden.
And how does this change you 10 years of gardening? What is it adding to your life?
Well, it adds a lot of enjoyment and pleasure. I meet and make friends with people here. For instance, Kitty and I have become very good friends, and I've become friends with a lady across the way who has a rose garden. Her name's Barb, and we're like best buddies. So I've made a lot of really good friends. On the garden right behind me is a gentleman named Jeffrey, who's from Taiwan, but he's also my neighbor at home. So since I had this injury, a couple of times I've been washing my dishes, and all of a sudden Jeffrey's face is in my... What can I do for you today, Pat? So you meet people and they're helpful when you can't do things, like I can't lift anything up over my head. Gardeners, neighbors, everybody's been wonderful to me. So, but you know, gardening, you make friends and you enjoy being out here in the sunshine and, you know, smelling people's flowers. I love the smell of certain plants. So,
It does smell good here.
it does. And I don't even know, like, these are Asian people behind me here. I have no idea what some of those plants are. But if I ask them, they'll tell me, they'll share them with me. So I'm learning about their culture also, and they're learning about my culture.
Hi, I'm Kitty Platt, and I've been living in Laguna Woods Village for about 8 years. And I love gardening because I really like to work with life and how life is interlinked, you know, so plant life and human life and the planetary life. And my favorite part about gardening is being able to build up the soil so that working together with microorganisms, you know, to supply food for macroorganisms, me. So it's really interesting and fun for me. And I'm baby boomer age, and a lot of baby boomers are moving in here, and one of the fastest growing hobbies and most interesting things that baby boomers love to do is garden. So I so appreciate the garden centers and the opportunity to do that and to do it my way, to make the soil that I like and grow the things that I like. Welcome to my garden, what there is of it, which is nothing. I'm in the process of kind of renovating and rejuvenating this whole thing. So all of the boxes that had been here before have been removed, and everything's been repainted. There was a lot of decaying wood in here. Everything's been repainted, and a lot of boards have been replaced. And what I'm going to do is do square foot gardening in raised beds, and elevated raised beds, so they're easy access. So there'll be no bending and leaning over to do the gardening. So right now I'm fairly young and pretty capable of bending, but I don't think that's going to last forever. So I'm going to build this garden in a way that I'll be able to, with my husband, garden for long periods of time, probably 30 years, I'm hoping, or more. So this one is going to be, all of the area here is going to be flattened down. I'm going to put wiring down and landscape cloth, and then build raised beds all throughout the whole thing, along with pavers to be able to easily walk through. One of the benefits of square foot gardening is that you're just using the soil that you're actually using, so there's no wasted water. And I can build my own soil, so I can make it as any way I want. I can put in the minerals and compost and moisture retaining properties that I want in it.
My name is Libby Meyer, and I've just started my 6th year in Laguna Woods. And the first thing I did when I moved here was to sign up for a garden plot. And I had to wait 4 years to get one, so that was a very exciting day for me when I finally found out I was able to get a garden plot. And I've so enjoyed gardening all my life, and I was a florist for a while, so my special love is really flowers. And I just planted a rose garden, which gives me great joy. One of the things I really love is sharing what we grow and flowers with our neighbors and friends. That's very heartwarming to me, to be able to share what we do with people that we love.
My name's Richard Wisniak, and I've been living for 5 years in Laguna Woods. The reason I love this garden, because I forget about everything, and I love it. My grandfathers were gardeners back in Michigan. They'd be proud of me now. I get a joy out of the challenges of growing things. I'm getting cucumbers that are 16 inches long, and we're giving them to all the neighbors. You think you gave them a gold bar, and I'm serious, they just love this. Welcome to our garden, Libby and Richard. Come on in. What we've done is split up our garden. Libby does the flowers. Libby used to be a florist, so this is a passion of her heart, and she beautifies our home with what she grows. So she's got her rose bushes all along the perimeter of our garden, and I have the vegetables in the center. So I'll let Libby explain what she does with her flowers and her roses, her magic touch.
All right, give us a tour, Libby.
Well, hi. Actually, I just planted these roses about a year ago, and I've gotten so much enjoyment from them. You see, there's not many blooms because I come over here and pick them as soon as they're getting to be budded, so I can take them to our manor, our house, and enjoy them there. I also take them to friends, and I do Meals on Wheels. I take them to some of the Meals on Wheels people too, just to kind of brighten their day a little bit.
We love the creative process of designing it and putting it together, and that alone, it's how we like it. It's our little space. So again, you saw Libby's roses and flowers. A year ago we had sunflowers and other flowers too. So this year we have white corn, carrots, red peppers, green peppers, and yellow peppers, cucumbers coming out our ears, and I got some gardenia plants hidden in here also, and I got some giant cherry tomatoes and regular beefsteak tomatoes here, and I planted 4 or 5 basil plants, having no idea that I get bushels of basil. So that's it. Like I said, I got some carrots in there too. Next year we're going to experiment. Part of the reason I love this is I love it, like I said earlier, it's the place you come to where it's the perfect de-stressing. It's both a physical thing, a mental thing, a spiritual thing, the magic of God's earth and water and sun, and you get to be part of that magic, making it, putting it together. This is, I started telling you, our little private nook. It's nice, it's shady in here. When we're working, sweating up, a storm here, we get to come here, relax, and it's just kind of our spot. We love it. It's like, it's our date spot.
Yeah, we burn picnic lunches, and we enjoy that. And we even had my sister and brother-in-law here one night. We brought some wine and cheese and enjoyed the garden at sunset. So yeah. It's a fun place to be also. Yeah.
I really hope you've enjoyed how passionate all these people are about gardening. I've been very inspired by their stories, and I really hope you've been inspired as well, and we'll see you next month.